When it comes to putting the vehicle in motion, when you're moving or stopping, there are four simple steps to putting the vehicle in motion when you're driving the vehicle using a automatic transmission. Step one, you have the brakes. So you want to step on the brake pedal and release the parking brakes. Step two, you have the drive gear. Now the drive gear is simple. While you're holding the foot on the brake pedal, you want to move that either shifter, or some vehicles you have to either press down like a pad button to drive, or also say D for drive. You want to put that in D for drive. And then step three, you have the accelerator. You want to release that brake pedal and gently apply the accelerator by pushing the foot pedal, and gradually increase that speed by applying the accelerator or the foot pedal. Step four, the steering wheel. So once you're moving, you're speeding up slowly and gradually. You want to hold that steering wheel with both hands. So both hands at the opposite sides of the steering wheel. You want the left hand on the 10 and the right hand on the 2. Now, when you're driving a manual transmission, there are 6 steps when putting the vehicle in motion when you're driving a manual transmission. That involves brakes, clutch, friction point, throttle, clutch, and accelerate. Specifically, step one is brakes. You want to step on the brake pedal and release the parking brakes. Step two, you have the clutch. You want to depress by pushing down on the clutch and place the transmission in a lower gear. Step three, you have the friction point. So the friction point, you want to release the clutch when the clutch engages from one gear to another, and decrease the RPMs is a sign that the friction point is reached, and gradually release the clutch until the clutch is fully engaged. Then slightly increased RPMs may be needed when engaging the clutch in order to avoid stalling the engine. So that's a bad sign if you're stalling the engine when you're driving a manual transmission. Now, the normal RPMs is between 100 to 300 as you're doing this. Step four, you have the throttle. Now, the throttle, as the vehicle starts to move, you want to gradually increase the engine RPM speed by pushing down the throttle. Step five, you have the clutch. So when the vehicle is in motion with the clutch engaged, you want to take the foot off the clutch pedal until you're ready to either shift again or stop. And step six is try to avoid clutch slipping by using little fuel until the clutch is fully engaged. Now, engage the clutch as smoothly as possible without stalling the engine. To keep in mind, note that when you're moving, speeding up slowly and gradually, hold the steering wheel with both your hands facing opposite sides of the steering wheel. So your left hand on the 10 and the right hand on the 2, and etc. The importance of putting the vehicle in motion, you want to make sure the vehicle is also centered inside of the lane of travel, because the width of the vehicle only gives you just a little bit of room on either side of the lane that you're traveling in. So centering your vehicle gives you enough space and maximum clearance on either side of the vehicle in order to avoid damages or accidents. Now, when you're driving an automatic transmission, there are 4 simple, easy steps to safely stopping when driving a vehicle with the automatic transmission. So the first step is to release the accelerator pedal. Step 2, gradually depress or press down on the brake pedal. And note that the amount of pressure needed depends on how much room you actually have to stop. So that's another factor to take in. Step 3, as the vehicle slows, you want to release some of that brake pressure. And then step 4, after stopping the vehicle, you want to keep the vehicle satisfactory by maintaining or keeping enough air pressure. Then you want to put the gear shift lever or transmission in neutral, and then set the parking brake by actually applying the parking brake. When you're driving a manual transmission, there are 5 simple steps to safely stopping when driving a manual transmission. Step 1 is to release the accelerator pedal, also known as the foot pedal. Step 2, you want to gradually depress, which is press down on the brake pedal. The amount of pressure you need will depend on how much room you have to actually stop. And step 3, as the vehicle slows, you want to downshift to the appropriate gear. Step 4, you want to release some of that brake pressure, because when the engine is close to idle, you want to depress by pushing down that clutch. The truck or vehicle should stop within the next 50 to 75 feet, depending on the length of the vehicle and where you're located. And then step 5, after stopping the vehicle, keep the vehicle satisfactory by putting that gear shift lever or transmission in neutral. Then set the parking brake by applying that parking brake. Then release by letting go of the clutch. Note, you must push the clutch all the way when coming to a stop in order to keep that vehicle on. If a stick shift or gear lever is not in neutral, then you have to make sure that you're pushing that clutch all the way, because otherwise the vehicle will jerk and automatically stop and cut off. Hey, BET Trainer here. Listen, if you really had true value out of this video, go ahead and click that like button and share some honest comments about this video, because this is going to help other people as well see the video and get the value information, so that way they can be inspired by what you're doing right now as well. So also, if you want to get the latest updates, go ahead and click the subscribe button, so then you can be able to always be updated on the next instant video that will be put out. So again, go ahead and do that. And this video was sponsored by BET Life Services and CDL for Life.